Hey there, Mountaineers! Welcome to the first episode of Matterhorn Movies. That's a great title. I know you all are gonna love that title. This is the series where a couple friends and I review the latest or some of the older Disney movies. Today I'm joined by Manny from Ready Set Disney. Say hi, Manny.
Hey everyone.
And we're gonna talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Now, this is the first movie review any of us have ever done. We're not really sure how it's gonna pan out, but hopefully you guys who have seen the movie will enjoy what we have to say about it. Are there any things you'd like to say before we get started?
Well, first of all, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. I enjoyed most of the movies, looking at you 1 to 3. And yeah, I'm kind of nervous about going into this review because I know a lot of people won't agree with my opinions, but I hope some of you will, and I'm just excited to get into it.
Alright, yeah. Who doesn't love Star Wars, honestly? I'm sure there are some people, but yeah, Star Wars is kind of a big thing in the United States, and I'm sure elsewhere, but now, this movie is, I don't know, this movie has a lot of controversy around it, a lot of mixed opinions from fans. I feel like it's really divided the fan base basically in half because of the decisions Rian Johnson, the director, made to go with this movie. And we all know the quotes from Mark Hamill that he wishes he never said about how he wished Rian Johnson handled Luke. But now, I wrote down a couple little topics that we're going to talk about. And I know for me, the biggest thing going into the movie was how they handled Snoke. And I guess we're just gonna go into full spoiler mode. If you guys haven't seen the movie yet, or if you just don't care, just continue watching, or just continue watching either way, because.
Otherwise, why are you watching it?
But. For me, the biggest letdown, or one of the biggest letdowns, was how they handled Snoke. And I wrote all these points down after the first time I saw it, but just to kind of clarify things, after the second time I saw the movie, my opinions toward it kind of shifted to the kind of, I feel, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? I like the movie better after I saw it a second time, that's what I'm trying to say. But
Agreed.
still the biggest gripe for me was how they handled Supreme Leader Snoke. And, honestly, okay, Manny, what are your thoughts on how they handled Supreme Leader Snoke?
Okay, so let's go straight to the first scene where Poe's in his lone X-wing attacking the dreadnought,
Mhm.
and he blows up, and Hux is all shaken up about it, and then Snoke appears in the hologram, right?
Mhm.
And he starts throwing him around like a rag doll through a hologram, projection thing. Like, dude, this guy's really powerful. We're actually going to
Mhm.
find out what he's doing. Flash forward a few scenes, like we've seen him throw around. Saw him use Force lightning once. We're thinking, oh, geez, where's he get this from? And we're gonna find out. Where's he get this? How's he so powerful in the Force? And we sort of just get him doing exactly what the Emperor did in Return of the Jedi,
Mhm.
but this time with Rey. And then Kylo straight up kills her.
Again, spoilers, guys, but yeah,
Yep.
go ahead. I guess it's too late for
Yeah.
that, but.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about how they handled Snoke because, first of all, when Force Awakens came out, everyone had questions. Going into
Mhm.
this movie, people had questions. People had theorized for 2 years at this point, right?
Mhm.
And there was really no payoff to that, but I've heard this brought up a little bit. When Force Awakens came out, did they really build up Snoke to be that big of a powerful Force user? Because I feel like in a way or just a leader, because in a
Mhm.
way they did, but I feel like in a way the fan base sort of blew it out of proportion.
Yeah. That's kind of true. They didn't really. He was only in a couple scenes. He was this big, huge. Well, for what we knew when we saw it, he was this big, really just gigantic guy. But I mean, he was only just in a couple scenes, and I don't know. I feel like I agree with you. The fan base really kind of went off the rails when it came to theories about Snoke. I saw one where it was like Mace Windu is Snoke. Of course, the infamous Jar Jar Binks is Snoke. But I
Mr.
mean,
Snocky Supreme Leader.
oh my gosh, no more Jar Jar, please, Disney. But actually, I was reading online a couple months ago, and it was like a comic, one of the recent Disney comics, and it had Jar Jar in it, and he was like homeless on the streets of Naboo, peddling for
Yeah,
money or something like that.
I read about that, and like it was like something like he like after Palpatine rose to power and they figured out that it was sort of his fault. He
Yeah.
got like kicked out of the Senate
Oh my
and
gosh.
was like living on the streets.
I kind of feel bad for him, but then again, who?
I don't.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm okay with the fact that Emperor or Supreme Leader Snoke was not just another, I guess, kind of emperor, but
Mhm.
then again, all the build up and the hype, well, not really hype, but all the theories that all the fans have been pouring into for the last 2 years were kind of just kind of thrown out the window. But I mean,
Yeah.
there are a lot of YouTube channels out there. I watched this one YouTube channel. I think it's called like Star Wars Theory or something like that. And he
Oh yeah.
is dead set on believing that Snoke is still alive. And I really don't
Oh
see
yeah.
them. I mean,
My friend told me about that.
it'd be neat if that happened, but I don't know. I've just accepted the fact that Snoke is just some. I mean, see, I'm so conflicted because,
Yeah, it's really hard.
yeah, I mean, I want to know like how he came to be, like how he got his dark side powers, how he's so powerful. It's just how he got the scars on his head. It's just so, I don't know.
Mm.
It's just like really,
Who, who knows?
yeah, and
Then again, sorry I interrupted,
oh,
but the
no
fact
problem.
that J.J. Abrams, the person who I think, was he write seven as well? I think he wrote seven. I
He
think
was
he would
a
have set
part
up,
of, yeah.
yeah, wrote up seven originally. He was the one who would have built up Snoke, so maybe he'll give us answers in nine as he's back to direct.
Mm,
But would it be in like a flashback scene or just throwaway dialogue? Who knows? But I don't
yeah.
think we're gonna get a massive build up. Oh, Snoke was Mace Windu scene, you know? I think it'll just be like
Mm.
Kylo Ren dropping a few throwaway lines or something.
Yeah, I feel like it'd either be in Ray reading the books or something like that, or in a
Oh,
flashback
that'd be
with Luke.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just so conflicting. This is a really
Mm,
interesting Star Wars movie, none to say the
yeah.
least. But I've read places that Episode 9 is going to kind of tie in all the other Star Wars movies together and like answer all the questions that we have. But who knows where that,
Who knows?
yeah, who knows where that came from. But, anyways, on to the second sort of topic. I wanted to talk about Captain Phasma because for those of you
Yeah.
that don't know, Captain Phasma is basically Boba Fett 2.0 because she didn't do a single thing in the first movie and then she dies in the second movie. I mean, to be fair, she did fall into a flaming wall of fire, so she could still be alive, but who
In
knows?
slow-mo.
In slow mo, yes. But I just wanted to talk about how much she was hyped up in the merchandise and in the trailers too. It's just
Yeah.
such kind of like a waste. I mean, she could have been such an interesting character. She's like the leader of all the stormtroopers. We could have gone into her backstory or something, but she just dies like
Mm.
in a really stupid way.
It would have been one thing I've just to note on. They expanded on Hux, I think, a lot in this movie, General Hux.
Hmm.
It would have been cool if they sort of did that, but with Phasma sort of leading the, I don't know, the stormtrooper squadrons around, just giving her a bit more screen time to make us care about her as a villain. Because it
Hmm.
was kind of like a when she came up, hey guys, remember me from episode seven when I
Hmm.
lowered the shields? You know, for a casual fan, someone who just saw Seven 2 years ago, would
Uh-huh.
they remember who Phasma was, or would they just
Mm-mm.
remember the shiny armor? You know?
Yeah, that's basically all she is, just a shiny armor of whatever the plot needs her to do.
Basically.
And I mean, there's really nothing else to say about Captain
I
Phasma. It's
feel
just,
like,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, sorry. I feel like you know how they had the infamous traitor
Mm-hmm.
scene in 7.
Yeah.
If that was Phasma, I feel like that would have made us care about her a lot more going into this movie if they'd made some
Mm.
tweaks. I don't know.
I
A bit of
mean,
a wasted opportunity.
yeah, there's really nothing else to say about that. Just a
Mm.
wasted character, basically. But let's move on to what I think is the best part of the movie, which is Rey and Ben Solo. Now, I absolutely love Ben in this movie. His acting,
Yeah.
I cannot remember the actor's name for the life of me.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, that's it. Adam Driver does an amazing job in this movie portraying Kylo Ren the way he does, so conflicted, and some of the lines of dialogue he delivers, like when he's offering Rey to sort of rule the galaxy together, and then he's screams, "You're still holding on, let go," or whatever. It's just really powerful the way he delivers all of his lines. I feel like he never really missed a beat. And same with Rey.
Mm.
Daisy Ridley is just an amazing actress. Her portraying Rey, I mean, her dynamic with Luke was awesome. I feel like we should have gotten more of her and Luke. That should have been a bigger chunk of
Yeah.
the movie. But what are your thoughts on that whole thing?
Well, first of all, I loved the introduction scene of Kylo Ren in this movie, where he's still wearing
Oh
the
yeah,
his sort of little Darth Vader fanboy mask as he
yeah.
walks in, and Snoke goes, "Take that ridiculous mask off," and he goes in an elevator. He's like on the verge of tears.
Mm-hmm.
He's shaken up. He's killed his father in the last movie, which just happened hours ago in the canon,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's changing. He's becoming his own villain. That's what I think him smashing the mask sort of symbolizes, because
Absolutely.
he's not just a one-dimensional baddie bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
like that does bad things for we don't know why, but now he's like you can tell he's been through things, especially with the flashback scenes with Luke. He
Mm-hmm.
thinks his own uncle is gonna kill him, that they don't look at him fondly.
Uh-huh.
And they portray him in such an interesting way that you're sort of rooting for him by the end of the movie,
Yeah, yeah.
even though he slaughtered Han Solo.
I'll never forgive him for that. I
Yeah, but
mean,
I really enjoyed Kylo Ren in this movie, honestly.
mm-hmm.
Ben Solo, and especially all the Ben Swallow memes that have
Oh
come out
my
of it.
gosh, that is the best part of this whole movie. Honestly, those memes are the best. For those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, I'll throw up a couple pictures for y'all. Um,
It's so good.
but anyways, yeah, Kylo Ren. A lot of people really bashed on him in The Force Awakens. They said he was just this whiny brat who always like destroyed things with his lightsaber, his mask. He was just a Darth Vader wannabe, and that's basically what he was. He wanted to be like his uncle, no, his grandfather, I think,
Yeah.
Darth Vader, and that's just all basically all that was on his mind. And like you said, him destroying the mask symbolized him becoming into his new, like villain,
Hmm.
and I absolutely loved the scene when he was yelling at well, when they're at the end on the crate with the red dust and you guys know what I'm talking about. When
Yeah.
he yells to blow that ridiculous that piece of junk out of the sky when the
That
Millennium
was great.
Falcon. Yeah.
That was really good. One
Let's
other
move on.
thing,
Oh, go ahead.
one more thing about Kylo Ren. I think it was a good choice to kill off Snoke in the end. Maybe. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Some people probably won't agree, but the way that Kylo Ren is now basically the leader of the First Order,
Mm-hmm.
that he doesn't have anyone to really report to the way there was Vader and Palpatine. Now it's
Yeah.
just Ren and Hux. But Ren's
Mm-hmm.
up top. So now he's not really the apprentice, he's become the master. And I think the fact that he's now supreme leader could make for some, I don't know, really interesting choices with how they're going to portray the First Order in Episode 9.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, it could add a really different way the First Order operates because Kylo just kind of goes with like how he's feeling in the moment, like how he ordered every ship to shoot at Luke at the end, and he just kept telling them to fire at him, and it's just really going to be interesting in 9. But let's move on to Rey, which is one
Mm.
of the more interesting parts for me coming into the movie. Now, I know everybody had questions about who Rey's parents were, where she came from, and basically, what the movie is telling us, which we're not really sure is true, Rey says that she's a nobody. Her parents come from nobody. Kylo Ren said to Rey, which for all we know, he could have been lying just to have Rey join him. He tells Rey that her parents traded her for drinking money and is dead in a grave in Jakku. But for all we know, that could be a lie. That could be Kylo spinning the truth to have Rey join him and leading the First Order. But I mean, it really kind of hints towards that, though, that Rey doesn't really have any important father-mother figures leading into the scene where she's in like the reflection room or whatever. She asks to see who her parents are, and a reflection of herself comes up, and that really kind of points to her not really having any, like parents out there anymore, which I'm okay with that. It would have been cool for her to be Obi-Wan's daughter or someone else's daughter, but that would have honestly just made the universe feel even smaller than it already is. Because speaking of like universe expanding, we only get maybe like two new planets, or maybe three, that's actually in the movie that expands on the Star Wars universe, when in the previous prequels and even the original trilogy, we got way more, different worlds and characters. But yeah, back to Rey, I really like the fact that she comes from nobody, because it shows that not just the Skywalker bloodline or any Force-sensitive kid could be this powerful in the Force. I
Exactly.
mean, you guys have seen how powerful Rey is in the Force. When her and Kylo are on Snoke's ship, they're using the Force to try and pull the Luke's lightsaber to each other, and the lightsaber rips in half. I know. Her and Kylo are basically equal in the Force, and it's really interesting because Kylo's had all these years of training with Luke and then with Snoke, and Rey just doesn't have any training except for what Luke taught her on the planet, whatever planet he was on.
Ahch-To, I think it's called.
Gesundheit.
Oh my god.
Anyways, what are your thoughts on how they handled Rey?
Okay, I really enjoyed Rey's character in this movie. I enjoyed her in Episode 7, sort of just coming out as a scavenger on Jakku to be sort of a Jedi. I'm not sure, but I enjoyed the fact that she was talking to Kylo Ren a lot through those Force Skype, whatever.
Force Skype, yes.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Snoke said he was intertwining them, but that's relevant to my point. What am I trying to say here? I like the fact that Rey is still kind of a bit selfish. She wants to know who her parents are. She's not like, she wants to go find Luke, but she's not like, the way Luke was immediately in Empire, like, I want to go confront Vader when he was with Yoda,
Yeah.
I wanted to skip his training. I enjoyed Rey and Luke's dynamic a lot, actually, on the island. That Luke was sort of a grumpy, get off my lawn, kid. While Rey was like, come on, look, I'm on Luke, teach me the Force, man. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this, but overall, I enjoyed Rey's character in this episode. I'm enjoying her continuous character arc from 7 to 8, and I'm excited to see where she goes in 9. Hopefully she'll have a double-bladed lightsaber.
Oh my gosh, that would be really awesome. Then again, that could be terrible to the writers. They probably don't want that, but we want it. J.J. Abrams, bring it to us, please. We're the fans. We deserve
less lens flare, more double blade.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Speaking of Luke Skywalker, his character in The Last Jedi is one of the more controversial parts of this movie. And I can understand why people have this mental image of Luke from the original trilogy as this hero. He's not scared of anything. He faced down Darth Vader by himself twice, and he faced down the Emperor and almost got killed by the Emperor, but other than that, I mean, people have been looking up to Luke Skywalker ever since they saw the original trilogy, when they were kids, Luke Skywalker could have been like little kids' heroes up until today, when they saw excuse me, when they saw the movie, and
Absolutely.
then they just see this old man, grumpy Luke who doesn't want to teach Rey the Force, who's cut himself off from the Force, and who almost
Run away from
killed,
everything.
yeah, who ran away to an island to die, like he said, and who almost tried to kill his nephew, which that scene is really weird, because
Yeah.
why would Luke ignite his lightsaber? I mean, I understand that Jedi can have sort of like doubt in them. I understand why he did it, but I just don't know why. Do you guys know what I mean? It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
explain, but yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I loved how they showed two perspectives on that scene. One from
Hmm.
Ben Solo's side and one from Luke's. Because if you go to Ben's vision, Luke's got like this murderous look on his face as Ben
Yeah.
wakes up. But then you go to Luke's, he's got this like sort of, I don't know, I'm sorry look on his face as he has the lightsaber, realizing I'm Luke Skywalker, I shouldn't be doing this. And it was just, a heat of the moment getting
Hmm.
to him, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing that that little moment led of like, I wouldn't say arrogance, but fear
Hmm.
led to his downfall and led to the, I don't know, downfall of the galaxy in a way, eventually.
Hmm.
And I think the fact that Luke was sort of like I get why people are really disappointed in his character. I completely and utterly understand it. Because, like,
Hmm.
you look at Luke from, like, A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, he's like, as you said, he's not scared of anything. He wants to go face everything, and he's just the complete hero. But
Hmm.
now you come 30 years later, and he's sort of hermit on an island. But I understand why they made the choice to make him like that.
Hmm.
Because people change, right?
Yeah,
I know a
absolutely.
lot of people hated the way Luke's changed, but think back to, I don't know, I'm not 30. I presume you're not 30, Matt, but
No.
most people watch this. If you're 30, think of someone 30 years ago. Think of a place. Was it the same? Even look at Disneyland 30 years ago.
Hmm.
No California Adventure, no Downtown Disney or anything, right?
Hmm.
Things change. People evolve. Characters evolve. Look at,
Yeah,
even in the
just
Star
look
Wars
at
universe.
yeah, just
Yeah,
look at Obi-Wan.
exactly.
Is that what you were going to bring up?
Yep.
Yeah, just look at Obi-Wan from the prequels to the original trilogy. He changed, like people do. People change. His mentality changed. I mean,
hmm
I'm not really counting Star Wars Rebels or the Clone Wars or anything, but because I've never seen those. But anyways, I just totally hijacked your comment, but
No, no, no. But you said exactly what I was planning on saying anyway. So
mhm,
yeah, characters evolve and change, and I enjoyed the fact that Luke wasn't just the way I don't want to say Yoda because it's kind of different, but that Yoda said, "I'll train you, sure,"
mhm,
but that he was like he was fearful of it. He didn't want the past to come back and repeat itself. You can understand
mhm,
why he was scared of that because he looks at it as if it was his fault, which in a way it was.
mhm.
You can see where he's coming from, but then by the end of the movie, where he does a which would you call it a heroic stance? Yeah, I
I
call it a
mean,
heroic
yeah,
stance.
I would.
Yeah, in the end of the movie, you see his character changes once again. Like
Mhm.
he's seen when spoilers, even though I've already said spoilers, when Master Yoda comes back, and then he tells
That
him,
oh my gosh, I got that
"Yeah,
spoiled for me that Yoda came back.
did you actually?"
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I'm the
I'm
worst when
sorry.
it comes to spoilers. Anyways.
I literally deleted this bit of a tangent. I deleted like Twitter, Instagram, and
Oh my
YouTube for a
gosh.
week prior to the movie, from
Hmm.
when the media embargo started to avoid spoilers.
Man, well now I know for 2 years from now
hmm
to
Or
delete
Solo,
all
if
that.
you care enough. That's a whole other topic. Anyway, when Yoda came back, and I forget what the line was. It was something along the lines of they, what they become. I forget, but he says something about like evolution, right?
Hmm.
Was I saying that right? How things change, evolve, and grow, and
Hmm.
how the ancient text. Yoda was like, he didn't give a crap. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna burn this tree? Let me do it. Gets lightning in the sky, showing that sometimes it's good to let go of the past and evolve.
Even though
And
though Rey took the books with her on the Millennium
yeah,
Falcon.
uh, that's what it defeated it.
Yeah.
Regardless, I don't know where
Well.
I'm going with this point once again, but yeah, I really enjoyed that scene with Yoda and the evolution of Luke. I see where they were coming from, but
Hmm.
although may not have been some people's ideal. They wanted to see Luke grab the lightsaber and just start swinging and say, let's go take on Snoke, you know? That's not what happened. And it's good to have, I think, an unexpected story like that. And to not go with your, what's the word I'm looking for? Not expectations, preconceptions.
Yes. Yep. Smashing your previous preconceptions is what this movie did.
Absolutely.
Speaking of unexpected, the scene where Rey hands Luke his lightsaber, he looks at it, and then tosses it over his back off a cliff. What did you think of that scene?
At first, I was sitting in the theater with three of my best friends. They're massive Star Wars fans. We're sitting there. As soon as Finn goes, "Where's Rey?" We all look at each other instantaneously, like, "Oh my God, we're actually going to see what's going to happen." Because we all saw Force Awakens together years back, right? And Luke grabs a lightsaber that John Williams scores, reeling you in, and he just throws it over his back for the Porgs. And it's like, what? But then you sort of, as the scene goes on or the movie goes on and Luke starts to share what's going on, what happened to him and why he's in this state, you start to understand why he tossed it over. And that's another thing why I think I really enjoyed this movie. The way it just it did not go the way we thought it was going to go. I think all my predictions that I had going into it were wrong except one, which I sort of ripped out from the trailer. And the fact that Luke, Kylo said, "Let the past die, kill it." Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like along those lines. But what I'm trying to say is here, I can't get any points across today, I'm sorry, but the fact that all of our preconceptions of Luke just getting the lightsaber, and being a complete hero were smashed. Because at the end of Force Awakens, what else do you think's going to happen? You're going to think of the cliche, the Jedi Knight training the Padawan, right? And that's not the way it went. And that's another reason why I love this movie is the fact that this is exactly what I said a minute ago. It was completely unexpected. Some of the twists weren't as good as the others, absolutely, but some of them really paid off, I think, in the long term. Or they will.
Now, I feel a complete different way about this scene. I feel like they just put that scene in there for a couple laughs. Honestly, that's what I feel like. I feel like Luke would have at least been like, "Where did you get this? This was came off my hand that got cut off in Cloud City. How did you manage to come into possession of this lightsaber?" But he just threw it over his back for comedic effect. And that's kind of a lot of what the problems I had with this movie. Like the very, very opening scene with the prank phone call, whatever, with General Hux and Poe. Poe says like a "yo mama" joke, and it's like, I didn't know they did that kind of stuff in the Star Wars universe. And he's like, "Oh, I'll hold for General Hux," and I was like, "Oh, they have that." I don't know. It just kind of pulled me out of the movie.
Yeah, some of the comedic beats didn't work as well, and I absolutely see where you're coming from, and I'm in agreement with you that I wish Luke sort of just, at least in a later scene, would have said to Rey, like, "Where did you get this lightsaber?" But then again, even in Force Awakens, when Han's like, "Where did you get that?" and she goes like, "A good question for another time."
It's probably not going to be in the movie. It's going to be in like a book or something. I feel like that should be something that should be in the movie, though.
Yeah,
but
it should be explained in the movie, absolutely, because it was a really significant plot point in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi when Luke creates his new lightsaber.
Absolutely,
and he gets the robot hand.
Now, another topic that I had written down was too much, quote, Marvel humor, and that kind of ties into what we were talking about, the over-reliance, well, not really over-reliance, the scene where Luke threw his lightsaber back, we already got into that, and that's kind of a big problem with a lot of movies these days, not really just Disney. Like, characters are so witty that when they're running during a fight, they can, like, just spit out funny, witty lines whenever. Like, at the end, when Finn defeats Captain Phasma and Rose and BB-8 come up and they're like, "Hey, need a lift?" While BB-8's driving the AT-ST. It's like, what? Okay. But, yeah, anyways.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from, and I think I agree with you. Some of the jokes in this movie I liked, and I gave a giggle at. Some I laughed harder at, and some just sort of fell flat, and I was like, did you really need to put that there?
Speaking of Did you really need to put that there? Let's talk about the Canto Bite
Space.
scene.
I thought you were going to say space flying Leia.
Oh, well, okay. We'll get to that first,
We'll get to that
actually.
later.
Okay,
Oh,
we'll
you want to
get
get
to
to
that
that now?
later then.
No, let's get to it now. You know what? Let's talk about it.
Okay, I guess I should sort of set the scene for you guys. Now, the Rebel, I don't remember what, the Rebel cruiser, or I guess Resistance cruiser, all of the characters are trying to sort of escape the First Order because the First Order has somehow tracked the Rebel cruiser through hyperspace, which is, I guess, impossible in the Star Wars universe, but, Poe is running to his X-wing. We see a hangar of fighter pilots in their X-wings ready to go out into battle as Kylo Ren's ship and his two little ships to the side come in, start shooting at the cruiser, and we get the scene where Kylo is about to basically kill his mom. He's gonna shoot the Rebel cruiser right where, I guess, like not the cockpit, but like the control area is where Leia
The
is.
control center.
Yeah, the control
whatever.
center. And he has his thumb on the button to shoot the guns at the control center, and he doesn't do it. But a few seconds later, the two other ships shoot it, and Leia kind of like flies out into space along with all the other commanders that are in there. Rip Admiral Akbar. He went out.
What?
He went out in such a lame way, honestly. But we're
Did he
getting
die?
sidetracked. I think so. I don't know.
That really annoyed me.
I know everybody loves Admiral Akbar, and he goes out like a wuss. But
Yeah, they just go literally like a throwaway line. Once
I
again.
know.
Akbar died.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, Leia gets sucked out into space. Everyone else that was there dies, but somehow she's like moving her fingers, you see, and she uses the Force to pull herself back into the ship, flying like Superman through space. It's really odd to look at.
Yeah, I feel like in theory,
Yeah,
this
in
could be
theory.
a great idea.
That
This can be
could
pulled
have
off really well, but like the pose and everything about it, and even the fact that Carrie Fisher's tragic passing, right? Look at that. Something about it just feels off.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the context or how it looks. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just really strange. That's like the only word that can really describe it is strange. Like you said, I can see where they're coming from. I mean, yeah, what are you going to do, honestly?
One positive of that scene I can think of was John Williams' Princess Leia theme playing.
True,
And she
yeah.
sort of flew back. But I don't know, I feel like they could have done that in a much less,
Weird
I don't say
way.
goofy. Yeah, weird.
Goofy,
sort
that's a
of-
good one.
Yeah, goofy way, you know? Because that was like, I don't know if that tread on the line of, I don't want to say prequel, but it tread on the line of like fan theory sort of thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
I mean,
especially the
Leia
pose
was
just didn't-
technically trained in the Force to some extent, so
Yeah, absolutely.
she knows, I guess, like how to use the Force to, I don't know, but they don't really dive into depth about that, at least not in the movies, but I'm sure in the books. Who knows?
Did they even talk about it afterwards?
No, they didn't. She just goes into a Force coma and then comes out of the coma, right? That's how it happened, though. She uses the Force
exactly.
to fly like Superman, and she goes into a coma. And then she comes out of the coma at just the right time. But, I mean, I feel like it would have been better if she was the one who jumped to light speed to destroy Snoke's ship.
Hyperspace kamikaze sort of thing.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that scene. That scene is probably the best scene in the movie.
That was phenomenal.
Admiral Hodo, I think that's her name, the girl with the purple hair. Holdo, that's it. The First Order. Wait, we gotta go back to the Canto Bite scene to get to this.
Yeah, we need to. Sorry, I sort of hijacked it talking about Superman Leia.
But speaking of, I don't even remember. Speaking of Canto Bite, let's talk about Canto Bite.
Yep, let's do it.
Now, this was honestly the worst part of the movie. I can understand where they were coming from, but it was just so not well directed and just so boring. It really
Yeah.
pulled me and a lot of other people out
Yeah,
of the
that's
movie.
the biggest complaint I've seen personally.
Hmm. And I mean, the whole journey that they do is basically pointless because they don't end up. Well, they end up getting the code breaker, but they don't stop the force field or whatever they're trying to do. I can't even
Hmm.
remember. But they just
Yeah.
get captured and then they go back to Crate and it's like nothing happened. But
Yeah, look, I'm conflicted with this. On one hand, I like the music they played inside
oh yeah.
the casino. Just because it's John Williams score, obviously it's going to be great. I don't know.
Mm.
That's the only positive I can think of. The set design was decent. It sort of felt like something you'd see on Earth. If you
Mm.
take away like all the exotic sort of creatures in there, then I don't
It
know.
felt it had a lot of prequel vibes, at
Yeah.
least from me, because I remember when the first scene they showed of that, I guess like the boat that flies off or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just
The
like zooms
space yacht.
in, yeah, and it just like zooms in on the whole casino. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Empire. No, this is Episode 2 all over again, and
Oh, the diner.
mm, I mean, yeah, it's not a very good uh, few scenes, at least for us.
Yeah.
But I've read people online trying to defend the scene. I mean, like, it
Mhm.
has value, but it doesn't deliver the value in a
Yeah,
very
like
good way.
the. I guess some of it was important to Finn's arc.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that sort of scene at the end with the Force boy, where he
Yeah.
like pulls the broom and all that. Like there was some decent bits in it. I don't know if any of it sort of really hit home for me and felt like this is essential to the plot. I'm really glad we're moving in this way. I feel like it could
Uh-huh.
have been. I forget how long the whole thing was. I really enjoyed the bit where they were on the Star Destroyer. I think towards the end
Oh, yeah.
that was good. But the whole bit on Canto Bight with the casino and the little free the animals
Free the
sort of
animals,
message.
but don't
Yeah.
free the enslaved children.
No, no, leave them there. They're fine.
The thing that really got me off guard was the fact they freed the animals, right? But they're just gonna go back and get the animals, aren't they? And just use them like how they were abusing them before, right? They're not
Yeah,
just
could
gonna
they
let
just
them.
find them?
Oh, well. I'm just gonna believe that the casino owners didn't go out and retrieve their
Mhm.
animals and use them
This
for
the
racing.
space ponies are fine.
The space ponies are fine.
As
Oh my
as
gosh.
as much as we mock these sort of scenes, there was some well done bits and some good lines. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just overall, in some other parts of the movie were just outright phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Some scenes, and you've got this sort of half decent. Yeah, let's do some filler. I don't know if you call it filler
Yeah.
because there were some bits that were important to Finn and Rose's arcs in there. I don't know. It was decent, but it wasn't great. And
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the movie's, in my opinion, pretty great. You kind of lose a bit of it.
Yeah, it really pulled me out of the movie. I'm like, what is there's a tiny animal putting coins into BB-8. That was really strange.
I've heard that little side note that little guy was voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh, maybe.
And yeah, I don't know. It's probably not true. Anyway,
Now, I can't remember what we were going to lead into after we talked about
um,
Canto Bite.
what were we going to talk about? The hyperspace. The
Oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
hmm
Now, we were talking earlier about the First Order tracking the resistance through hyperspace, and man, I'm trying to remember how this scene's played out. Oh, that's right. I can't remember the actor's name. The one with like the stutter. What's his name?
Benicio del Toro,
That's it. His character
collector.
was the quote code breaker that Finn and Rose got from Canto Bite. He says that he can break into the First Order, destroy or like turn off their defenses or something, so they can turn off the tracker, so the First Order can
Hmm.
get away, which is really takes up a whole chunk of the movie because.
That could have been condensed.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad that Finn knows where everything is on Star Destroyers he's probably never been on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But anyways, they eventually get caught trying to disable the tracker, and I can't remember the actor's name again for the life of me, but
Just say the collector.
okay, is that who he plays?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that.
Boom. Knowledge.
Okay, so I'm gonna call him the collector from now on, but you guys probably know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about. He sells out the Resistance, tells them that the Resistance are planning on using smaller escape pods to get to the planet of Crate, because
Mm-hmm.
the smaller escape pods are like off the radar of the First Order or something, and
Yeah, not
then
trackable.
yeah, not trackable. That's the word. And the collector character tells them that they are escaping in those escape pods, and so I guess they start tracking them or something. I don't know
And
how
they
this.
fly down.
Yeah, and they start blowing up each of the escape pods one by one, and that really is kind of like, oh my gosh, is everybody gonna die? But
Yeah, because
then,
the resistance is so small at this point.
yeah, it's like maybe 20, 25 people at most.
Mm. I love that though. I think that was a
Mm,
really good thing to put in this movie in the sort of second act of the trilogy, where traditionally characters are supposed to be really down in their luck, right? Sorry,
yeah.
just got to took over.
But General Holdo, she's the, oh my gosh, we have like a whole other thing to talk about General Holdo. The
Yeah,
fact that she didn't tell anyone the plan, and that basically forced Poe to tell his friends to go to Canto Bight, find the code breaker, and it's really
oh
all her
yeah,
fault, honestly. If you come down to like the basics, because if she just would have told them, "Oh, we're holding out to get to that planet over there. It's got a old rebellion uh, hideout that we can go to, and we'll be safe there. The First Order can't
yeah.
track us." It just would have been, the other scenes just wouldn't have been necessary.
Yo, I never even thought of it like that.
I
God,
mean,
God, you're
yeah.
right.
But yeah, General Holdo, she's kind of like not really a bad guy, but she's like not really.
Not an all good guy.
Yeah, at
In the
least
view
that's
of
how.
some people.
Yeah, that's how it looks to us, because Poe sees them filling up the transports and he thinks that they're all just gonna run away, but
Hmm.
she ends up in the end sacrificing herself in one of the most satisfying shots in any movie I've recently seen.
That was stunning.
I
Those,
know.
oh,
Uh,
one thing, even if you guys don't agree with the story choices Ryan Johnson made, he and his team know how to do cinematography. Because
Absolutely.
a lot of the shots in this movie, you could put them up as a painting in your house. They're that
Yeah,
spectacular.
absolutely.
I don't know if you
Um,
want to have a kamikaze spaceship going through a
no,
Star
it looks
Destroyer in your
cool. It
house,
looks
but then
cool. It's
again,
fine. But she ends up jumping to light speed and basically cutting in half Snoke's ship, killing herself, I'm assuming. Probably.
yeah, we don't know 100%, but I think yeah, she's basically
I mean,
dead.
Darth Maul was still alive. She could be still alive too.
My everyone's still alive in Star Wars. No one dies in Star
You know,
Wars.
it's weird because they gave Darth Maul's upper half robot legs, but they didn't give his bottom half a robot torso.
Yeah.
There could have been two Darth Mauls running around. What do you do in Lucasfilm?
Come on, Pablo Hidalgo, figure it out, man.
But
No, he's
anyways,
great.
that really leads into the final scenes, and I mean, what is there to talk about? The
That I think we should talk about the sort of last third act on Crate. 'Cause I really enjoyed those scenes.
me too. So basically, the Resistance stranded on this island, or not island, planet with really nothing
Mhm.
to work with. There's only, at this point, there's like maybe 12 people left, and
Yeah.
it's like, how are they gonna get out of this? What are they gonna do? There's only one way in, which is the giant shield door, and the Resistance, of course, comes down with quote miniaturized Death Star tech.
Yeah.
Um,
It's exactly what they called it.
yeah, it's so bizarre, but I just roll with it. Miniaturized Death Star tech to
Hmm.
break open the shield, or not really shield, like the giant door that they have. You
Hmm.
guys have probably seen the movie, know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's just really, really, really good scenes. you just don't know what's gonna happen because there's only a handful of these resistance soldiers left. Princess Leia, of course, is still alive. We don't
Yeah,
really
that
know
was.
what's gonna happen to her character in the next movie. I feel
Yeah,
like it would have been more satisfying for her to be the one to sort of kamikaze the
yeah.
Snoke
I've
ship.
I've read a lot of read and heard a lot of people saying that.
I mean, it would have
Oh
been
well.
I guess like a good sacrifice, a good
Yeah,
way to send
absolutely.
off her character. In the, I'm so conflicted. What are they gonna do with her in the next movie?
Yeah,
Because
I've
she
read.
hasn't filmed any scenes. They said they're not
Yeah,
gonna recast her. They're not gonna CGI her. So what are they gonna do?
to my knowledge, they haven't even started principal photography yet. So
Yeah, the script was just barely submitted like a couple weeks
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and
I think they'll probably just do an off-screen death, write it in the crawl, have a
yeah,
funeral
that's what I was
scene.
thinking in the title crawl. Princess Leia is dead.
Yep,
But that wouldn't
basically.
really give a lot of justice to her character. But
Absolutely not.
in the end,
But what other option do they have?
exactly. I mean, yeah, there's really no other option. I hate to
Yeah.
say it. Princess Leia is gonna die the next movie. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but
Oh
um,
well. I really enjoyed the battle scenes on Crate.
mm-hmm,
I like
um,
the as they pulled out of the air in those speeders,
mm-hmm.
like they sort of jumped out. And if any of you, I know a lot of people hate this game, Star Wars Battlefront 2. If any of you have ever played Galactic Assault on Crate, you get to like play as those little speeders, and it's the most fun thing ever.
Yeah,
But
I
but
mean,
that's irrelevant.
I've never played the game. That's the one that has like a whole bunch of controversy around it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's it.
Okay. But yeah, that scene is just like, or not that scene. That whole planet is just amazing to look at, especially
Yeah,
when they're
that
like,
was great.
yeah, the red dust coming up is a really neat looking thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, the whole resistance is on the planet. You're just like, what are they gonna do? And then, out of nowhere, Luke Skywalker shows up on the base.
Oh.
And what are your thoughts on those couple scenes, Manny?
Okay, I know a lot of people really, really, really hate these scenes and the way that Luke went out inevitably in the end, but I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain why. So Luke shows up, right? He gets to see Leia again, C-3PO, all that. There were some offbeats I think they could have done better, but overall I enjoy it. He walks out. He has this grand plan of letting the Resistance escape in the end. He
Mm-hmm.
walks out to face Kylo Ren alone, and the movie drops you little hints that hey, he might not really be there. This feels
Yeah.
a bit off. Like he looks years younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the blue lightsaber, which
That
was
was
broken
destroyed
apart
by,
scenes
yeah.
ago. Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't leave the red footprints on the sand, which is
Mm-hmm.
on the salt, which is awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so he comes out, he faces Kylo, spews a bit of the, Jedi wordplay. And then I loved how he went out, was saying, "See you around, kids, strike me down in anger, and I'll only be with you forever, like your father,"
Mm-hmm.
etc. And then you sort of realize, oh, he's a force projection, right? And he's
Mm-hmm.
back on Arc 2, he never left. And I, although we all wish we could have seen Luke Skywalker in battle again, I
Mm-hmm.
think everyone wants that. Everyone's seen him be a complete badass again.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, I enjoyed the way that he was inevitably killed off. That he basically did the impossible with the Force. He pushed himself that hard. He'd been disconnected for years. And the fact that he died looking off into twin suns, it's the way he
Mm-hmm.
started his journey, in my opinion, was very poetic. And I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
What
you.
about you?
It was a really great couple scenes that he was in. When he met with Leia, gave her the dice, but in the end, the
Mm,
dice weren't actually there.
yeah.
But yeah, I loved the, like you said, the subtle hints that he wasn't there. I didn't notice in my first viewing when him and Kylo were facing off. You could see when Kylo moved his foot, the sand would move and reveal like the red surface. And
Mm,
when they zoomed in on Luke's feet, he moved his feet and the sand didn't move. And I was like, on my second viewing, I noticed it, and I was like, I see what they did there. But
yeah. That was very clever. I enjoyed that, regardless of what you think of these scenes. You got to admit, that's a pretty cool detail.
and I mean, I don't think Luke. I don't know. Could he? actually like wield a lightsaber? Because he's like really old in the movie.
Mm. Then
He's
again,
been like,
Obi-Wan fought Vader in New Hope.
that's true, that's true. But he was, well,
Yeah,
that's
he
true.
disconnected himself for years,
Yeah,
the Force.
Obi-Wan wasn't really, I guess, disconnected from the Force, but Luke was just like full on.
He
See ya,
hated it.
Force. I'm out of here.
Hmm.
But I think that's really it for that. Do you have any other like last little
Um,
details or something?
okay, so just for the battle scene, I really like the March of the Resistance theme. You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Yeah, I really like
I don't
that.
think
That's my only
so.
point.
Maybe. I don't know. I probably do, but.
I enjoyed the Battle of Crate. I enjoyed the way they shrunk the Resistance down, making them feel very helpless.
Hmm.
And I enjoyed the way that they retreated. They didn't really attack and win. And it
Hmm.
sets us up for 9. I think we're probably going to time jump a few years to 9.
Hmm.
It's like a rebuilt Resistance. And I saw someone mention this earlier. Do you think remember how they kept saying the rebellion is reborn today? They kept sort of saying that over and over.
Hmm.
Do you think that'd be called the rebellion again?
I think they will be. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's my feelings on those scenes.
Now, there's still like a couple little things that really irked me about this movie. One of them being the Knights of Ren. Um,
Yeah.
in The Force Awakens, Rey has the Force, not really flashback, but I'm gonna call it a flashback. She has this flashback of
Hold on.
Luke, and then him and C-3PO with the burning Jedi temple he's created, and then it transitions to Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren, and they were nowhere in the movie, and
They were
I'm
spoken about once, I think, by Snoke.
mm-hmm, but they weren't like shown. I'm wondering if they're just gonna forget about that because
Yeah.
unless they're gonna do something in 9, honestly, I don't know. It's just
Yeah, unless
really
JJ decides to do something with it.
mm-hmm. And this is really one of the things that kind of I guess like messes with this whole new trilogy is the fact that it had almost 3 directors for each
Hmm.
movie. And now, of course, there's only 2 directors. J.J. Abrams directed the first one, Ryan Johnson the second, and J.J. is back to direct the third. I feel like it would have been more consistent with these kind of, I guess, like plot holes. Not really plot holes, but just throw
Yeah,
away, forget about this, it never happened.
details.
Yeah. If it was just directed by one person, that's kind of one of my biggest gripes about this new trilogy.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
And I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see what Ryan has planned for his new trilogy that he's supposed to be directing. Who knows what it's going to be about? It could be about that Force boy that we saw at the end of the movie, but
Hmm.
honestly, I don't know. I don't know where Disney's taking this franchise anymore. I thought I knew, but I was wrong.
No, we don't. We have no idea.
I don't even think they know.
I saw this posted on Twitter, I think, a few days ago. Do you think they should keep Kathleen Kennedy? A bit of
Oh my
a random
gosh.
point.
I mean, she's done good to rake in so much money for this franchise because
Mm.
The Last Jedi's already passed $1 billion, and I don't even think it's opened in China yet.
Yeah.
Um, all the merchandise, everything is just brought in. So I read that I think The Last Jedi finally kind of evened out the purchase of
Mm.
Lucasfilm from Disney.
In movie grossing,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, they would have made it up in merchandise very easily.
Oh, for sure, because they sell so many toys for the littlest things, like the evil BB-8. That was only in the movie once, and it was hyped up into
Yeah,
toys like crazy. But
that was interesting.
for the one scene he was in,
Hmm.
but I mean, she's
Yeah.
done a good job so far. It might not be what the fans like, but she's definitely rebooted the Star Wars franchise for newer generations of people, and I'm sure they enjoy the movies.
Yeah, I have enjoyed all the new movies.
Yeah,
Some
absolutely.
bits more than others, but yeah, overall.
Now, there's really the question of sort of exhaustion from Star Wars because
Yeah.
there's going to be a new Star Wars movie almost every year, probably until the day we die. For all we
Hmm.
know, it could go on past the day we die. We could
Yeah.
die in 2050 and there could be still new Star Wars movies coming out.
They're gonna milk it.
Absolutely. like the Rogue One, the Solo movie. I'm just wondering if for the next trilogy they're going to take maybe like 2 or 3 years off of the
I hope so.
Skywalker trilogy. Yeah, I really, really hope so because there's only so much Star Wars people can take, and
Hmm.
with the new Solo movie coming out this year, I'm really cautiously optimistic about that one because the directors were fired, and it's just really a crazy, crazy time, honestly.
Yeah, it's very interesting actually. I'm as much as I love Star Wars, I own a lot of the comic books. I read up on a lot of the lore and the canon. Everyone gets sick of it eventually by some point.
Mm,
Like that's another reason why I like The Last Jedi. Although, regardless, well, some people might look at it differently. I think the movie took some new steps,
absolutely.
expanded the mythos in a way, created some new possibilities for these next few movies because we we can't keep doing the same stuff forever, you know.
Yeah, and that's the problem I had with Rogue One. Um,
Hmm.
Star Wars is basically really just a formula that you have to follow. It has to have stormtroopers, it has to have lightsabers, it has to have space battles, it has to have the Emperor, or not the Emperor, the Empire chasing the First
Hmm.
Order, or like the rebels, the small band of people. That is basically the storyline for any Star Wars movie that is going to be successful. Look at the prequels, it didn't have that, and the movies
Hmm.
sucked. And it's true, but
No, absolutely.
it's really interesting to see where they're going to take it from here because I I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
People are going to get sick of the same old thing. That's the reality.
Mhm.
They need
And
to
I
take new
mean,
steps, tell new stories.
yeah, for sure. I'm sure that's what they're planning on or hoping to do with Ryan Johnson's new trilogy and the
Yeah.
Solo movie. I don't really think Han Solo needs a his own backstory movie.
No, he doesn't. I don't think. But
Neither did Rogue One,
okay.
but
It's absolutely. Then again, let's be honest. You and I, we're both still going to go see it, right?
mhm. Oh
Star
my
Wars
gosh,
fans are going to go see it.
I'm
People are going to
so
see it.
excited for the Jabba the Hutt Solo movie.
Jabba, a Star Wars story.
Jabba a Star. That's oh my gosh, you should work for Lucasfilm.
I know.
The only one I'm really excited for is the Obi-Wan movie because I love Ewan McGregor as
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, that was one of the only good parts of the prequels, in my opinion, or one
Mm-hmm.
of the better parts of the prequels, depending on how you look at it. Hello
Absolutely.
there.
Oh, hello there. Oh my gosh. Yes. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, me too. No, I hope. Is that movie officially confirmed at
I
this
think
point?
it was, along with the Jabba the Hutt solo movie.
Wait, is that confirmed?
I'm 99% sure that both of those movies are confirmed.
Let me look this up.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
All right,
You're going to be
Java.
disappointed when you find out the truth.
Are you lying to me?
I'm not lying, I swear.
Oh wait, no. What? Rumors are circulating that Jabba the Hutt might get a standalone movie. Okay, it's a rumor.
Oh, I thought it was confirmed, maybe. Well, it's
Wait.
going to be confirmed soon, though.
Yep. Wait. Are they new? I'm gonna search up the Obi-Wan one. Right.
Okay.
You're gonna see my little fingers spamming at my keyboard. Okay, it says it's been confirmed apparently.
I
Confirmed to be
remember.
in development.
I distinctly remember there being a tweet or an article, probably
Yeah.
from Star Wars themselves, saying that these two movies were in development. I don't know.
I don't know.
I could have
We
dreamt
should.
that.
Yeah, we shouldn't be circulating rumors, but I've heard heaps of things on both actually.
Jabba the Hutt movie is happening. Oh my gosh! But yeah, Star Wars
Our sources inside
exhaustion.
Lucasfilm.
Oh, go ahead. What?
Our sources inside Lucasfilm have confirmed it to us. Our two channels with both under 1,000 subscribers. We know it.
Mm-hmm.
We have
I
spies
talked to
working inside
Catherine Kennedy
Lucasfilm.
herself and Bob Iger.
Hmm.
We actually had
Yeah.
dinner the other day. You didn't see my tweets about that?
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Oh boy.
We're idiots.
Well,
Anything else to say about The Last Jedi? What do you
I
think?
I think that's basically it. I'm running down my notes that I wrote. one of the big things from even still The Force Awakens is, where did the First Order come from? I mean,
Actually, I've read a little bit up on that.
ooh, enlighten me.
Um, I went and bought the. I'm not sure. People who know the canon better than me will probably disagree with me in the comments, but I've been reading the Poe Dameron comic series,
Mm.
and there's been a villain. This might be spoilery if you guys want to read the Poe Dameron book. It's been out for a few years now, I think, or the series. Yeah, so there's a villain called like Agent Terex, I think, and he was like part of a stormtrooper during the Battle of Jakku,
Mm.
like a very patriotic Empire sympathizer after the Empire went down, and he attempted to rebuild like a new Empire and stuff using old ships and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not done with the book yet, but I think I forget, there were some lines that he knew like Phasma and stuff, and that sort of leads into the creation of the First Order. I don't know.
Interesting, but that's
I
still
can't get
like,
a point across
that's
today.
still like, where did they get all the money to build all these new super weapons and star destroyers
Yeah,
and all that? I wish they
especially
would have
with like
answered that.
the Republic
Mm-hmm.
was still around then. So
Yeah, like the Republic was around in the Force Awakens, and then they get killed off. But
mm,
yeah,
oh well.
it's just whatever. They're probably never gonna
It's a
explain it.
Star War. We don't need to break it down.
It's just a Star Wars, guys. Calm down.
Even though we just spent an hour and a half dissecting it.
Oh my gosh.
Regardless, overall, I like the movie. Some
Hmm.
problems with it, that's fine. I'm not going to get a perfect movie. But
Yeah.
again, I really like some parts of it, and I'm going to see it again. So,
Hmm.
I enjoyed it. What about you, Matt?
7.5 out of 10.
Yep, I'm going to agree with you on that.
I like
7.5 official rating on the Matterhorn Movies show. There you
Matterhorn
go.
Movies. I cannot believe I came up with that name. Matterhorn Movies, guys. Oh my god. Anyways, TM. I'm gonna trademark everything on my channel.
Including Disney.
Oh yes.
History Land.
I don't want people copying me. Anyways, guys, I think that's just about gonna wrap up our review of I'm not reviewing Matterhorn Movies. Our review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We hope you all enjoyed this very first episode, and make sure you subscribe, because Alex and I, and Manny too, we're gonna be reviewing more movies.
Ew.
Next week, Alex and I are gonna review Snow White, the original,
Oh no.
the classic, the amazing Snow White. I have to rewatch it before we do that, though.
Mhm.
But have you seen Coco yet?
Yes, said it twice.
Okay, we're gonna next episode 3 of Matterhorn Movies is gonna be on Coco, guys. It's confirmed.
Let's do it.
But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed, and make sure you sub to Manny's channel, because he makes really amazing videos, and he's a real swell dude.
Heyo. More content coming soon, I promise.
Confirmed, more content for Ready Set Disney. But hopefully we kind of brought this up a few podcasts ago, but we're sort of planning a meetup, me, Manny, and Alex, sometime in the summer.
Mhm.
We'll give you guys more details on that, and I'll probably tweet about it a lot, or I'll definitely talk about it in like a podcast or an episode of Historyland or something, but it's 99% confirmed happening, guys.
Yep. I'll be traveling. For those of you who don't know, I'll be traveling back to the US in June. I live in Australia, if you couldn't tell by the annoying accent. Yeah, and I'll be going to Walt Disney World for my first time, so that's exciting, and I'll probably be doing 1 to 2 days in Disneyland still. Can't abandon the home park.
But yeah, guys, stay tuned around, I guess like around that time, and we'll officially announce something, because it takes a lot of work to like plan all of this stuff, but definitely, guys, keep an eye out.
Yeah, keep a watch. We'll make it happen. Trust it.
We promise we'll make it happen. If not this year, then next year for sure, but this year for sure also.
Inevitably, it will happen.
Yes. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, drop a like, subscribe to Manny's channel. That was terrible. Holy cow.
Subscribe.
I sound like the guy from The Last Jedi.
The code breaker.
Oh my gosh, this has gone on long enough, guys.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just wasting your time at this point. Go do something else.
Yeah, hope you all enjoyed, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.